I feel like this band is like the Baskin Robbins of music. Like, there were 31 flavors here, at least. Hello again, Nuke fam. So this is going to be my second time ever hearing this band. I'm hearing a lot of buzz about them, and I'll be perfectly honest, I don't quite see why just yet, but I'm prepared to find out, going into this with an open mind. So today I'll be checking out a requested song, The Summoning, by Sleep Token, and we'll see how it is. Before I jump in, like, comment, and subscribe, follow me on social media, and check out my Patreon, both linked in the description down below. If you join Tier 4 on Patreon, that lets you make a song request and guarantee a reaction to it right away. So to get in on that VIP treatment, simply become a member and you're good to go. Alright, Sleep Token, The Summoning. I've done one other reaction to these guys, and I was impressed by the range that they showed, but I'm still not quite convinced when it comes to the hype. This is the song that I'm really hearing massive hype over. So let's find out what the appeal is. Let's go. Genty beginning. An initial thought, you don't always hear clean vocals paired with like a genty sound. Like, I'm used to hearing harshness combined with that. So right off the bat, that's something a little bit atypical. Yeah. So far it feels like there is just a lot of build-up happening, and we're going to see what the payoff is. So let's get back to it. Ooh, I like the layering on the vocals. Okay, if he is really going that high with his voice, I'm impressed. Let me know in the comments if that was like vocal manipulation or if he really does have that range. Because like his regular singing voice, I'm saying regular even though I don't know fully what is regular for this band yet, but the singing voice that he seems to primarily use is much lower. So for him to like go that high and that quickly, that's pretty cool. That shows a lot of talent and a lot of voice control. So that's really something immediately that I appreciate. And this song, in some respects, I automatically like it more than the last one that I heard. Like, it's already appealing to me a bit more than the last one did when I was like a minute in. So that's pretty cool. Maybe this is a band that will grow on me and that I should follow. But so far, so good. Let's keep going. I feel like there's a little gent influence here, a little new metal influence there. Variety. It's good. Okay, I feel like there's going to be a drop, so good time to pause it. He did do a little bit of harshness there. That was a pretty dissonant sounding scream. I like the way that it was kind of a little bit more deeply buried than his cleans were. His cleans felt like much more in the forefront when it comes to the mixing of the song. So I think there's a lot of like little subtle smart decisions taking place in the overall structure of the song. There's like a lot of little guitar parts that don't overstay their welcome. They're just like little pieces that connect one part of the song to the next. And that's pretty cool so far. Not bad at all. Oh, we're doing a solo? Okay. A little bit bluesy, right? This part is smooth. I like this. Ooh, I kind of get chills when he goes high like that. Just want to comment quickly on the music video. Not sure what's happening here. We're just getting like a view of what's like this sort of video game looking figure. I don't know if this is from an actual game or if this is just something made specifically for the video. If you know, let me know in the comments. Yeah, there's a lot of different moving parts to this song, and so far they're all working in a delicate but effective balance. There's a lot of range being showcased both vocally and guitar-wise, with the drumming serving as a cohesive, well-done backdrop to both things. So it's a nice little package of variety so far. I'm a little bit impressed. Let's keep going. Ooh, I like that. That felt very early 2000s right there. What is going on with this video, man? This is weird. All the red lasers. Are we about to rob a bank? What's going on? A little bit of dreamscapiness being weaved in here. Not where I thought this was going. What? What genre did we just fall into? Well, that threw me off just a lot. Okay, this is a weird journey, and I'm here for it. I don't know what planet this song just dropped me off on, but it's uncharted territory for me. I don't know where I am, but I'm happy to be here. Look, these guys are definitely demonstrating a lot of ambition in terms of like what they're trying to achieve with their music, because this is sort of defying the typical package, the typical, formula for popular metal music. They're kind of defying genre. They're defying labels. You can't put this band in a box, and that's something you have to appreciate. And that, I think, is probably really where the hype lies for this band. And I understand it. I respect it. I'm definitely impressed by this song. I don't know if this is like fully my thing, just because there's such a multitude of different energies going on here. It's a little bit too multifaceted in terms of stylistic choices. Not that I can't listen to this again, and I will, but it's just like something that wouldn't be like my number one go-to thing. But I can definitely appreciate what they're going for, and I think they're pulling it off well. It's that special element that a band has in their songs that just kind of make you raise your eyebrows, just throw curveball after curveball your way. That's definitely what's happening in me. So, points for that. Let's finish it up. I'm not really feeling this part though. This is an odd one. Okay. Okay. Somebody spilled their Maroon 5 in the gent. Please remove it. Put it over there. Look, if it works, it works. You know, it did work for this song, I feel. As much as this wouldn't be my kind of thing necessarily, and, you know, I do want to listen to this at least one more time. As I said, it's not playlist material for me. It's not something that's going to be like heavily re-listened to on my part, but it is something I will give another chance to because it is well done. There's quality, there's talent here, and it really is ambitious in its experimentation. And I just reacted to another song at the time of filming that also felt like it was a little bit experimental in its structure, and I didn't like how that one turned out quite as much. This one, on the other hand, I think that what they tried works, and it still manages to mesh well, despite the fact that it feels like there are so many different interspersed parts going on here. And I mean genre-wise. Like, there's gent in here, there was a little bit of like a nu metal part, like some bluesy parts when it comes to how the guitar sounded, and now this like weird, like, I don't know what genre to call it, how the song ended up sounding toward the end. I just know it was like a what the fuck thing for me. It was that kind of moment. But, you know, despite not being my preference, I can still understand on the objective side of things when something just works and when it's well done and when it's well pulled off. And I think this was a solid song. It was over 6.5 minutes long, and it didn't feel like that. It felt like it was like 4 minutes. So it kind of just flew by. It had a smoothness and richness to it, and the vocalist is clearly quite talented, especially if he really did pull off those highs without any vocal effects or manipulation or anything. And again, you really got to let me know in the comments what the case is when it came to his vocals, because if he can really go that high, I'm impressed, because he did that very quickly. It was like a low to high, and it was like a really quick jump from one to the other. And that takes talent, and that takes a certain level of finesse, and yeah, I mean, it was just really cool. What more can I say? The vocals and the guitar, there were a lot of like little but important parts for each of those things in this song, and that helped to give you a full idea of the range this band is capable of, but it did it incrementally, little by little. It didn't like throw it all in your face at once. It kind of let little moments breathe and develop as the song went on, and I thought that was really cool. So really solid musically. I thought it was better than the last song that I reacted to, actually. Seriously. And if I had to compare the two, I would say that I like this one a bit more. And I do like it, in a manner of speaking. I don't love it, but there are definitely things that I can appreciate. And I want to say that there are parts of the song that I can like isolate, and I can dig those parts on their own. But when put together, this is not a song that I would find myself really being a super fan of. Because there are some styles interwoven within the song that are just not for me. Not really my kind of thing, especially toward the end, how it sounded. It was cool in how it's surprising it was, but yeah, once again, not really my thing, not my kind of speed. But overall, still a damn good song in terms of quality. And yeah, I mean, I can see this band going places and just becoming a bigger name as time goes on, you know. So I do understand a little bit more now about the the hype and the excitement over these guys because they're doing something different, and different is always good. Almost always. There was so much going on in this song when it comes to musical influence. Like, I feel like this band is like the Baskin Robbins of music. Like, there were 31 flavors here, at least. So I'm going to leave it off on that note when it comes to the music. Yeah, I mean, I think I've said all I can say. Definitely a band to watch. And for those who really like this, a band to support. So let's get to the lyrics. I've got a river running right into you. I've got a blood trail, red and the blue. Something you say or something you do. A taste of the divine. You've got my body, flesh and bone. Yeah, the sky above, the earth below. Raise me up again. Take me past the edge. I want to see the other side. See the other side. Won't you show me what it's like? Oh, and my love, did I mistake you for a sign from God? Or are you really here to cut me off? Or maybe just to turn me on? Because these days I would be lying if I told you that I didn't wish that I could be your man. Or maybe make a good girl bad. And then these other lines repeat. Okay. Alright, so this is pretty much what I expected. I was listening as much as I could for the lyrics as I was listening to the music itself. So the summoning has to be him calling up that animal inside him, right? The carnal instinct inside people that, drives sex and lust. And I think this person knows this woman is kind of toxic and not that good for him. But he's so consumed and turned on by her that he doesn't care. Which is nothing too surprising. I mean, and I think a lot of people who have had, in their minds, very bland sex or love lives, there's that desire to spice things up and take things to a different level. And to that effect, it says, take me past the edge. I want to see the other side. And that's basically what that's implying. And my view on this whole issue has evolved. Like, first of all, I got that part of me out of my system when I was younger. But also, I've come to appreciate and prefer the maturity of a stable relationship instead of something purely lust-based. And I am one of those people who thinks that hookup culture has been taken a bit too far. Not against it. I just think that it's gone off in some nasty and toxic directions. And I think there are certain foundations that you need for society to function in a healthy way. And two of those things are, in my opinion, in my view, monogamous relationships and family. And by family, I don't necessarily mean children. A family can be any group of close people who love each other. And lust is great, but it's especially great when it's in the context of actual love. And so to me, this is more just a song about lustful desire. And it's not really anything new or groundbreaking. It's kind of a repetitive song in terms of the lyrics, and there's nothing really deep here. And it's not that there always has to be something super deep and super profound to say in every song, but this is a subject that's been done to death. And I just don't see how they've added anything really new or relevant to it. So for me, qualitatively speaking, this song is more about the music than the actual lyrics. But here's what I'll say in favor of what the song talks about, is that when he says, taste of the divine, I do support that idea of seeing yourself and the person that you're with as a god and goddess. So whether he's talking about her being divine and he's experiencing her, or whether it's the other way around, or maybe both, either way, I think that's the right way to go about a relationship, even if it is a casual one. Like, that's my thing about hookups. If you're gonna do it in a way that comes from a place of respect. Like, you should really adore the woman that you're with. Not in a way that's dehumanizing. And the only other good thing I can say about the writing is that it does at least make an attempt to capture the feeling of that intimate moment with someone. It talks about it being the sky above, the earth below, nothing to say and nowhere to go. So it's this total shared moment of two people wrapped up in each other. It's everything to them. It's their whole world in that moment, and there's nothing else to say and nowhere else to go. But to be right in that moment is all that matters, and fully absorb everything that's happening. And that is a decent way to capture all the feelings that happen in the heat of passion. And so I don't feel like they phoned this in at all. I feel like they tried to do something that they really wanted to do. But again, it's just a little bit too short lyrically and a little bit too repetitive for me. Like aside from those things, those are the only areas where I can really give any credit to the lyrics, because I think it just mostly rehashes something that so many songs have talked about. And yeah, there is a place for a song like this. Like, it'll definitely be going on some people's sex playlists. I'm sure of it. It's just more of a vibe song, and that's cool. It's more about the music here. So don't get me wrong, I'm not trashing it. I'm just criticizing the lyrics in a fair way. It's like, would I be happier if there was something deeper here to dig into and talk about? Absolutely. And I also know that not every song can be that way. I get it. But as someone who likes to deep dive into lyrics and, really get into interesting meanings and interpretations and perspectives, there is a bit of disappointment here for me, because even on this kind of subject, they could have said a little bit more and offered a bit more writing-wise. So that's a bit of a letdown for me personally. The music, though, saves the song for me a little bit, because I do appreciate the full range of what they put into this. And this is going to be a band that's on a lot of minds for quite a while, I think. And I think they're going to get bigger and better. So, and the fact that I appreciated the second song that I heard by them more than the first, that might be an indicator that they're on an upward trajectory, that the more new stuff they release, the better it gets. That's a very good place to be in if that is the case. So yeah, I respect it. I respect where they're coming from, but it's not a song that's really for me. So that's pretty much where I'll leave it off, but my Sleep Token journey is not over. Put your requests in the comments, or the better option, Tier 4 on my Patreon. If you want to make your song request and get a reaction to it right away, that's the best bet to get it done. I definitely want to hear more. So on that note, there's much more content on the way. Much love and respect to the Nuclear family, and I will catch you all very soon.